Please take a moment to explore. Today, Andreas and Pierre will walk you through 4 areas where knowledge graphs and GraphRAG are making a real difference. We will not be talking only about demos, but about real organizations and real data. We will provide you with a little glimpse into technical knowledge management, semantic digital twin, compliance intelligence, and scientific knowledge management. Now let me introduce you to our speakers. Joining us today are Andreas Blumauer, SVP of Growth and co-founder at Graphwise, and Pierre Roussel, Director of Compliance at Graphwise. They'll be guiding this conversation, and I know that you're in great hands. With that said, I'm handing over to our speakers, and let's get it started.
Yeah, thank you, Paulina. I'm really excited about this webinar series, and we're kicking it off today. Today we will cover a lot of ground. I can promise to you we'll get a real complete picture of what Graphwise is doing, and also on top of that, you get a good overview of very tangible applications and results we and our partners built on top of our platform. So let's kick it off. So just to give you in a nutshell what Graphwise is offering, it's about the knowledge graph infrastructure, which helps our clients to transition their AI from an experimental stage to production-grade applications. We also call that the semantic backbone. We will come to that in a second. And that's really the driver behind the applications on top, which then make a real difference. And as Graphwise, we sit really between symbolic AI and generative AI. So we have worked on this fusion since many, many years. And at the time, OntoText and Semantic Web Company were still more on a strategic partnership level. We already worked towards that end. And now, as a merged company, as Graphwise, we can, deliver this end-to-end platform, which can fuse those two kinds of AI in one go. So Graphwise bridges statistical guessing with logical reasoning. And this is really the prerequisite to build applications when precision is a must or complexity is high. And this we see all over the places in our client base, in different industries. These high demands are really visible, and we have helped many customers in recent years to go from prototypical implementations over to the real production grade systems. And our customers have realized quite early that this can happen even better in a strategic manner when several use cases are handled, let's say, in a synergetic way. So they're not splitted or let's say separated from each other, but they're all put on top of the same semantic infrastructure. And by that, more and more network effects come into play. So we help our customers turn data and knowledge into real concrete improved outcomes. Our customers can make sure that they make use of compliant data. There's AI governance in place, which also increases trust in the systems. Obviously, we help then also by that approach reduce costs per application and also boost the AI performance. We will see why a graph-based systems can do that very well. And last but not least, what we see as one of the main differentiators is really the key capability to bring in domain-specific knowledge into this mix. So even if you link data across silos, that's not good enough for agentic AI. Later on, you need to have a handle on your domain-specific knowledge. So it's about the semantic backbone. This is where Graphwise shines. This is how our strategic use cases later on then can be built on top. So number one, a semantic backbone helps to link data across silos. So it consolidates fragmented data. It makes a consistent and linked structure available. And by that, we help to shift from prototypes over to governed AI systems. There's a need to add domain knowledge. Knowledge graphs consist of the data residing in different repositories and databases typically, plus domain knowledge. Is it taxonomies or ontologies? It's all about digitizing knowledge we typically have in our brains as subject matter experts. And that's also the foundation for a long-term memory later on in an agentic environment. And it's a prerequisite to enable consistent reasoning, also cross-domain and cross-repository, and the reuse of knowledge. It's the prerequisite also to solve the hallucination gap. So we see that all over the places. You need to ground LLMs with a rigorous knowledge base. Otherwise, it keeps on going with statistical guessing. And last but not least, this is how the real business impact then can be realized. So a lot of tasks can be finally augmented or even automated. Is it the creation of the knowledge graph or then the usage of the knowledge graph? All that can free our many stakeholders off from manual work when Graphwise is in use. So to sum up and take a closer look at it once again. So the enterprise semantic backbone is the trust layer that serves multiple roles. And at the core, there's a knowledge model. Is it ontologies, schemas, business rules also, which provide the domain understanding. And this brings in the deterministic part in an AI architecture. Based on that, applications like knowledge hubs, digital twins, etc., become possible. And we will show that in the form of the 4 strategic use cases in a second. And this then grounds and contextualizes AI agents with all kind of additional enriched knowledge, like process knowledge, last but not least, also to have agents capable to cross-link, you could call it, let's say, organizational knowledge, knowledge about business objects on the one side, and procedural knowledge on the other side. So all that is inside of a semantic backbone typically. And it's important to see also the difference to a semantic layer, a thin semantic layer as regularly used by the BI community. This is a different beast, so to speak. So a semantic layer is again just a layer on top of one silo typically. But the backbone really makes sure that all the different semantic layers, if you want so a metadata system, systems in place can be really cross-linked in one go. Okay, having said that, of course, this is a bit of a journey. So the semantic backbone is something which develops over time. So typically our customers start with some kind of productivity tool sets. So they want to make sure certain applications and the development of those can be accelerated. They can go productive quicker. So first ROIs are earned in level 1, level 2 already. But in the long run, it's really all about creating the semantic backbone as an infrastructure, as an enterprise-wide strategy for agentic AI. So this is the journey we typically see. Our customers start off on level 1, 2, 3, somewhere like that, and then realize, okay, the more use cases we add next to each other, the more it pays off to have an RDF-based semantic backbone in place. Now, typically, the total cost of graph looks like that. So the ramp-up costs might be a little bit lower when starting off with graph, let's say, graph formats like LPG. So LPG is all around, and it does a good job for certain use cases where also the domain complexity is not necessarily that high. Later on, after a while, enterprises start to realize, okay, the more of such strategic use cases we add next to each other, the better it is to use RDF as a standard, which can cover a lot of ground and creates a lot of network effects in the long run. So this is what we see now more and more often. Now let's come to the key problems you can address with that kind of technology. So what do we mean by the strategic use cases? Number one, technical knowledge management. So here it's all about ensuring that companies' collective technical knowledge stays, it doesn't erode, can be better used, more effectively put into the different processes. Is it starting off the manufacturing process from developing new products to the support processes? So all that's typically covered by TKM, in short, technical knowledge management. The second case we see very often in our customer base are semantic digital twins. So digital twins are around since a while, mirroring of physical objects, optimizing their performance. And with a semantic digital twin, you can add even more context to the twin in terms of you can explain why things are happening, for instance, and by that you can also lay the foundation for a multi-agentic system on top of a digital twin infrastructure. Then the third use case is about compliance intelligence. So we see that in all kind of industries, of course, it's about utilizing knowledge graphs to proactively identifying risks, for instance, or also just to automate certain compliance workflows. And then last but not least, scientific knowledge management, which is about enhancing productivity, fueling innovation, also securing a competitive advantage in knowledge-intensive industries by accelerating innovation in general. So those are the four use cases we see in different industries where semantic backbone plays an essential role to realize and the benefits. And in the next couple of minutes, we will present each of the cases step by step. We'll give you a couple of demos also and explain the specifics of the use cases. So this is the big picture on the strategic use cases. And as said before, all of them benefit from RDF-based semantic backbones very much. So you can measure that. So there's advantages you gain from the technological approaches manifold. You see them on the top. I don't walk you through all of them, just to give you an idea how you can measure that. So on top, you see, for instance, domain-specific reasoning or the ability to have better ways to govern your AI, explainability, and all that translates into measurable KPIs. If you want to pick out one, let's say the semantic layer across silos in the semantic digital twin case translates into a reduction in mean time to resolution. So this is a typical KPI in manufacturing, MTTR, and you see here many ways to benefit from the advantages, the Graphwise advantage, if you want so, in those different use cases. Now let's go into the details. TKM number one, technical knowledge management. So how does here the semantic backbone translate the problem in strategic outcomes? TKM suffers from information silos, fragmented knowledge, lots of, in many occasions, the wheel is reinvented. So in large organizations, the left hand doesn't often know what the right hand does. And most of all, a loss of expertise is quite viral. So we see that now many people retire and they are very knowledgeable, and this loss of expertise then really leads to a downward spiral. And so you need to secure the knowledge before it's gone. Otherwise, also our appetite for agentic AI is probably never happening.